Hello, everybody. This is Mike, and that's right, avoid. Beth is not here this week. She is gallivanting around the world, as in Disney World. But, as we all know, it's Beth's world. We're just living in it. I tried to at least bring in someone that could take a fraction of the void away. And so that's why this week I have my good friend who we'll call
Ross.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Ross. You've heard us talk about Ross on almost every single podcast. He is a great friend of mine and Beth's. And you hear him say a lot of times, like, we'll call him Ross. And Ross has graciously agreed to pop in and kind of be another voice in the room as we chat through life together. Can we say that, Ross? Chat through life together?
That sounds okay.
I mean, you're going to be open? I mean, you're going to pour your heart out here?
I'm going to be just as open and talkative as always.
All right. What's your deepest, darkest fear, Ross?
After podcasts, probably...
Being put on the spot in a podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd probably be a good one.
All right, good. All right, well, there. That's probably going to be the easiest question I ask you today.
Oh, good.
Do a little housekeeping. At our last podcast that, when it was released, when we did the recording, the boys were going to be taking, Beth somewhere special, and she didn't know where she was going to go. She just knew that was going to be their Christmas present from them to her. And so that night, put Beth in the car. We drove into Greensboro, North Carolina, which is, one of the closer towns to us. Went out to eat in downtown Greensboro and then walked a few blocks up to the Tanger Center. The Tanger Center's the largest and probably the best theater in North Carolina. That's where Beth and I see a lot of our Broadway shows. We have season passes to the touring that's there, but this particular show was not in the touring package. It was a standalone. The boys took Beth to see Elf the Musical. That's her favorite Christmas movie. Have you seen Elf, Ross?
I have. It's been a while, but I've seen it.
What's your thought? I mean, is it something that, when you think of Christmas movies, is that one now? Because I feel like it's been so commercialized. I mean, Elf stuff is everywhere. Is it something that you think is worthy to be put on the mantle of best Christmas movies ever, or what? What's your take on Elf?
I don't know if it makes the Mount Rushmore or not. It probably top 10, maybe. Especially of the newer ones. It's a quality one, I guess. It's not one I'd watch every year, but no movie is really. So it's pretty good.
All right. Well, that's a great way to put it. The Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. Let's do that. Let's pick some Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. You asked me last night. We were playing board games online. I think it was last night. You said, "What's your favorite Christmas movie?" Was that last night? Or night before last?
Well, I said Christmas song, but
Christmas songs.
We'll
That's
go with
right.
movies.
We were
That's
listening to
fine.
that. That's right. I thought we talked about movies at one point.
Probably a little bit.
Probably a little bit ago. I don't know. But what's your favorite Christmas movie? Top 2 or 3? Or do you have 4? Could you do your personal Mount Rushmore?
I'd be hard pressed to name 4, actually. I'm not really a big movie watcher. Elf is probably maybe in my top 4 since I don't really know that many. The Christmas Vacation movie's pretty good. There's some good parts in it. I don't think I've ever seen A Christmas Story all the way through. Mike looks disappointed. I can't really think of that many more.
Wow, can you even name 4 Christmas movies? That should have been it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I really thought Ross was going to come strong with the Christmas movies.
No.
But no, it was kind of an impulsive question. For me, A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation are on the Mount Rushmore. Mm-hmm. I'm not the biggest fan of It's a Wonderful Life. I know most people would put that on probably the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that one. I would include that. I have seen that one. That's pretty good.
You've got Miracle on 34th Street, which I've never seen. I don't know if that's Christmas movie sacrilege or not, but I've never seen it. Have you ever seen it? That's where like Santa goes on trial or something.
Yeah, I've probably seen parts of it. I don't know that I've seen it all the way through either.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Trying to think of other Christmas movies that may be up there. White Christmas, I don't know,
Oh, Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby. I've never seen it.
Don't think I've seen it either.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I mean, that could be your poll question for the week. We'll ask people that. Comment. What is your favorite Christmas movie or movies? Mine is a Christmas movie that doesn't get a lot of traction. I think if you looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it's about 9%, and so that's pretty bad. I like Christmas with the Cranks. I just think, and Beth made reference to that last week. The whole idea of me wanting to cancel Christmas. This is originally started out as a John Grisham novel. And, you guys, we know him from all the legal novels and things that he's written that's been turned into hit movies. He wrote a book called Skipping Christmas. And that book became the movie Christmas with the Cranks. Mm-hmm. I just find it original and fun, and I like it. I could watch it every year. I think I do watch it every year. But that's kind of I don't know. Not too many people are going to have that on their Mount Rushmore, much less their number one. Jingle All the Way. You ever heard of that one? Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad and the late great Phil Hartman, I think, was in that.
Yeah, so that was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that was a fun one. Let's throw out this debate. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Have you ever seen Die Hard, Ross? Let's start there.
Believe it or not, for the third time I've said this about movies, I don't think I've seen it all the way through. So,
what do you just watch clips on TikTok or something? I mean, what how do you
just catch the good parts of them and move on?
So you just start watching a movie and you get up and walk away?
I don't know. I don't know when everybody's seen a part of Die Hard here or there, and I guess that's what I've done. I've just never sat down and watched it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to confess something. I've seen Die Hard. It's been 30 years probably since I've seen it. I'm not a Die Hard fan. I personally am not an action movie fan. I like, a little believability in my movies at times, and to me, Die Hard is just so far-fetched and stupid and, whatever. So I don't even like it as a movie. I can see the argument on both sides. I think it takes place at Christmas. And so you got the people who want to argue Die Hard's a Christmas movie. But I think if I remember correctly, it was released in the summer. So with that, how would you define it? Just knowing that.
Yeah, it seems like if the basic premise is not about Christmas and it just happened to occur then, I don't know how it fit into the movie that it did, but I wouldn't call that a Christmas movie.
All right. We could do a bonus poll question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Mm-hmm. You're probably going to get a lot of dudes that say yes and a lot of chicks that say no.
Yeah.
I think dogs would like Die Hard as a Christmas movie and cats would say no.
Okay.
I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like cats are more cerebral and can think things through. Dogs like flashy, boom, boom, bang, bang. And so I think they would like Die Hard as a movie and just say yes.
Well, put it out there for cats and dogs only to vote. See what you come up with.
My house would be split.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
You think both cats would vote?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not sure my cats even care enough to vote, which is why they make good cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, Beth is at the Disney World. This was Maria's Christmas gift. She wanted to go to Disney World for Christmas. Particularly, I think they did something called Jollywood or something like that at Hollywood Studios. And, so they went there. You ever been to Disney World?
When I was probably 4, I went, and I don't remember much. I think it was really hot. The Epcot golf ball ride scared me to death. That's pretty much all I know.
Because it was so dark or what? Because it moves about 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, I think it was just, I don't know what was in there, but something scared me.
Did your parents trick you? Did you think it was going to be golf? Did you think you were walking in there to watch, Byron Nelson highlights or what?
I don't know what I thought. I think they asked if it was okay for kids, and they said it was, and I freaked out, and my mom got mad at them when we got out of it. But yeah, I was just a scared 4-year-old. So
I wonder if you're the only kid to ever get freaked out on that ride. Do you remember anything about it?
No, I just pretty much, I guess what I've been told. I don't really remember anything. I blocked it out.
All right. That's a ride when I'm down there I like to do when it's really hot. Just put me in that ball, let me sit down for a little while in some AC, ride up the big hill at 1 mile an hour, and then slowly come back down. So I honestly, I can't even tell you what everything's about inside of it. It just, all I want to do is just sit down, rest in the AC. So.
Well, it wasn't worth it for me. I don't know what was in there, but it wasn't worth it.
Did you like amusement park growing up as a kid? I mean, did that traumatize you to where you're like, forget it, I'm not doing any more rides?
Never really been to that many of them, really. I just got interested in other stuff, baseball or whatever, and just never really went to many parks like that.
Yeah, we took the kids when they were very young. Maria was probably 4. And we went to Busch Gardens up in Williamsburg. And while we were there, we went to do the log flumes. You remember the log flumes? You know what that is? It literally looks like a log. You just sit kind of single rider in it. 2 people can fit if they're small enough, like back to back to back. And so you're in a water ride. It takes you up a hill. You kind of go around some curves. Then you go down a big hill for a splash. Mm-hmm. Well, same thing with Maria. She wanted to ride the log flume. We got on it and she started losing it. I mean, I was having to hold her down inside of it. And the picture, take a picture when you're coming down the hill, and the picture is her just upset. Maria still has that picture. And so for so many years, she refused to ride any kind of roller coaster, any kind of amusement park ride. And I blame myself. I was like, man, did I traumatize my daughter by taking her on the log flumes at 4, But then she got introduced to Disney, and she started slowly making her way back into rides, and now she'll ride anything and everything. And that's all now she wants to be like an amusement ride creator, like from the design side. I mean, that's what she wants to do. Her dream is to be a Disney Imagineer and help create the environments of the roller coasters and the rides and the attractions. But she went back to Busch Gardens last weekend, and it was cold, so the log flumes were cold, but she wanted to reenact that picture. She wanted to take it again with her and her friend playing the role of me, and her making a face like she was so upset and crying, but it was closed because it was chilly. Oh. But she did. So it was the first time she's been back since that time when she was 4 years old. So she went there and rode some real roller coasters and had the time of her life.
Well, that's pretty good. Face your fears.
Face your fears, Ross. I mean, that's what you always say, right?
That's right. My motto. I've never been on a roller coaster, but I hear they're scary.
Oh man. Let's talk about you for a hot minute. You've got some pretty cool hobbies. One of the things that I'm fascinated by is your commitment to the game of chess. Ross, tell our listeners, on chess.com or online chess, is it chess.com where all your stuff primarily is?
It is, yes.
Okay, so on chess.com, when did you start playing on there, and how many games have you played to this point?
Started in 2012. A buddy got me into it, and I actually looked last night, I think, and I have played 47,600 something games. It's not really a commitment. They're all short games, so I just play when I want to, and I don't when I don't want to. So it's not really a commitment. I just usually end up playing it every night. Well,
I told Josh that you had played 47,000 games of chess, and Josh could not believe it. I mean, I don't think he knew anybody could do 47,000 of anything, much less chess games. And I've probably played 47 games of chess in my life. I know how to play, but it's so long in between playing. I gotta it takes me a little bit to remember all the moves and where
yeah.
everything goes. But you got me to play chess the other night for the first time. You and I
did.
played.
Yep.
All because Board Game Arena was down.
Yep.
And we were so desperate to play something online. I mean, we did online poker. we did chess. We were just like, let's find something to be able to play online.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I reluctantly played you in chess. And we played 5 matches. You want to tell the people what your record was after 5 matches?
It was 5-0.
5-0. The first game, I think I said something about you'll probably beat me in 4 moves. And you didn't.
I did not. It took 7.
It took 7 moves.
Yep.
7 moves and Ross beat me in the first game of chess. The last 4 or 5, games 4 and 5 took a little longer.
Yeah, they took a little longer.
And there was a couple times I felt good because you were like, oh, that was a good move.
Yeah, made a couple of good moves in there. After you ask during game 2 or something, now which one's the king and the queen?
Yeah, I played the first 2 games and I couldn't remember who was the king and who was the queen.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Well, I mean, it didn't matter because I wasn't protecting either one of them.
Yeah.
So the whole castle got burned down.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think we looked it up. Your rating is like 1,600, something like that, 1,600 and change.
Something like that.
And so that is considered by Chess.com an advanced player, above average. So there you go. They consider a beginner like 1,200.
Yeah, that's where they start you out at when you create an account, I think. And I dropped down to about 500 or 600 when I started in 2012 and then went up from there.
Well, after those 5 games with you, I'm now down to like 346.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, that's not good at all. And I don't know if necessarily if chess is my type of game, but I think that's definitely one of those games where if you're playing someone that has played 47,000 times, they should have such a massive advantage because you do understand. Like I was asking you, like, do you already have moves? Like, do you already know what you're going to do your first 1 or 2 moves? And you're like, I know what I'm going to do my first 10 moves.
Yeah, sometimes the games, if it's a common opening, you can go 8 or 9 moves and everything's pretty predictable, and then it gets different after that. But yeah, if you hadn't played much, then there's no way you can know.
Well, just tell me this: was anything I did predictable?
I mean, some of the moves were pretty good. Some of the opening moves were a little strange, but you did make a good opening move, I think, in game 2 or 3. So
Okay.
Got a handful of good moves in there.
What if I could have put all of them together and beat you? That would have been terrible. I'd have felt bad because that would have hurt your ranking.
Well, you wouldn't have felt as bad as I did. That would have been disappointing.
See, you're in a lose-lose. I mean,
Yeah.
You beat me, you should beat me. And if you didn't beat me, it was going to have catastrophic effects on your 1,600 and something.
Yeah, it was like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson minus the money involved.
Yes. Yeah. Man. So yeah, you got that going on. You're also a pretty good golfer. I think you're like a 2 handicap, something like that.
Used to be good. I haven't really played as much in probably the last 10 years, but I used to play a whole lot. And yeah, that was my sport that I really grew up from probably teenage years on into my 30s playing a whole lot of.
Do you see any similarities between chess and golf? Like to me, I think those are very cerebral type sports. Like chess, obviously, there's no luck involved. It's strategy, 100%. And with golf, there's a lot there too. Mental. They always say golf is such a heavy mental game, and you may have all the physical attributes in the world to hit the ball far or straight or whatever, but you can get in your head pretty quick in golf, and then you kind of lose it. So I think both require a lot of concentration. I would think. What do you? Do you see similarities? Like, what do you think it was, chess and golf, that made you excel in those 2 things?
They do require a lot of strategy, a lot of making sure you don't get in your own way. If you make a little mistake, they can compound if you dwell on them too long, and just kind of planning out what you want to do and staying in the moment. Something I'm not always good at, but it's important in chess and golf and life. But yeah, just strategy and making sure you're thinking through what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point because I like playing ball golf. I say ball golf because I also play disc golf, so I feel like I have to differentiate between the two. I like playing ball golf. I don't know where it's going to go when I hit it. That's the problem. I'm aiming for the green, but then I just hit it. Like this idea of I want to hit the ball on the left side or the right side, already thinking about where your next shot is. I just want to get it down the fairway or to the green. So I think I've never thought about that before, but it is kind of like chess where if you're good enough, you can, okay, I want to hit the ball in this area. So then my next move, I can hit the ball into this area,
right,
and kind of thing.
Yeah. And even pros have, places they miss shots. If you can't miss on the left side of the green because there's a deep bunker or something, then their miss will be on the right side. They know where to miss. They don't just shoot at the flagstick every time. They kind of know where they can miss and still have a good next shot, instead of just being in the water or a deep bunker or something.
I think that's one of the things that I learned early on watching Tiger Woods and hearing about how he practiced. I think most tour golfers practice to be perfect. I'm going to hit this ball here. This is where I want to hit it, and if they get into trouble, they really get into trouble because that's not what they had planned, I'd read, and you probably have too, like Tiger used to go and put the ball in the sand trap, in the woods, behind trees, and practice those shots that, he planned for mistakes.
Right.
And I don't know how many other golfers do that.
Yeah, I would think on tour they definitely should, because you're not going to be perfect every shot of every round, especially not a tournament. So everybody's going to get in trouble. They definitely should practice playing from the rough and the trees and everything. But yeah, I don't know how much they do really, but Tiger was definitely good at getting out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't shake his confidence.
Right.
It was like, all right, if I get in here, I'll figure out a way to get out. It's like and I think that's something that we could learn about life. That so many times we want to play life perfect. And when it doesn't go perfect, we kind of lose, I don't know, I guess you can lose hope a little bit. You can get frustrated. You can get bitter, beat yourself up. I mean, it can lead to depression, anger, fear, all those types of things. When maybe playing from the rough, playing from the bad areas, having that in our minds, like, okay, well, even if I go in here, I know I'm going to go out. I'm going to be able to get out,
Right.
I think there's something to that.
Yeah, and it's important too to not compound the mistakes. If you make one mistake, to try to overdo something and to maybe, like in golf, trying to get out of the woods and take on a shot that is a low percentage, and now you're deeper in the woods, and you can really compound mistakes and make something that really wasn't all that bad pretty bad by making multiple mistakes in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I do that in disc golf. I feel like all the time. If I hit a tree, I'm an aggressive player, and so I could toss it back out in the opening and know I probably got a guaranteed bogey, or I could just be real aggressive and try to make it through that little tiny hole in the leaves and the trees and the limbs and still have a chance at par, and I end up getting like double or triple. I think you're right about that in life. You a lot of times we make a mistake, and instead of taking like maybe one step back and moving forward, we get real aggressive and try something stupid, and we end up even more in trouble.
Right. So, yeah, sometimes the way you react to a mistake can be worse than the mistake itself.
Yeah.
Or better if it gets you back on track.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that you do that I'm really fascinated by is your Facebook ministry. Tell us a little bit about that.
I started in 2011 started up a Facebook page, Bible Verses, Encouragements, and Thoughts. And I just put a picture, a verse, and a few sentences, sort of like a mini devotional, and just started doing that every day. And as it worked out, probably the majority of the people are in the Philippines. I don't know if it's probably U.S. is number one, then Philippines, and then
How do you
Egypt.
think he got there? Just a weird algorithm? Did a couple of people in the Philippines start reading it and they started sharing it? I mean,
that could be. I mean, I did some Facebook ads, and maybe the Philippines was maybe the cheapest bang for the buck. I don't know, and it just got big there for whatever reason.
yeah. And how many people?
It's around 200,000 followers. The algorithm doesn't show it to that many people every day, but that's how many technically follow it. So I've posted once a day for a long time, and it's good for me. I mean, it just keeps me thinking about either certain verses or thoughts or whatever. So it's been good for me to be posting it.
Where'd you get the pictures from?
It's actually a buddy that I knew from a local golf course. It's Christian Digital Artwork, and he's got a lot of followers. He's probably 400,000 or 500,000, and he's local here, and he's got a Facebook page, and I'll use probably say more than 50% of them have come from his work. So he does.
Are you giving him credit?
I leave the watermark on the page. Yeah, I'm not taking that out and counting it as my own, but yeah, I've linked him on a few posts, but yeah, his signature's on there, and he definitely does good work.
Well, we have our Hey, Are You Still There Facebook page. We're going to link this up, and so we're gonna add that so people can go to it and join it and check it out. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Even if you're not Filipino.
Yeah, sure.
I told my mom about it the other day. I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have Ross on the show. And she was like, she was shocked. She was like, Ross would do that show? I mean, I don't know what she thought. I mean, I guess she thought you were coming on the Howard Stern show or something, Joe Rogan. But I was like, yeah. She's like, well, what is he going to talk about? And I was like, well, so we're going to talk about his Facebook ministry. Mom's like, what Facebook ministry? So I started telling her, and, she believes what I do now, that you are the Joel Osteen of the Philippines, that you have all these followers there, and if you went there one day, it'd be big.
Gotta be Max Lucado. I like him too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess Max is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, who's your Mount Rushmore of pastors? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
That's a good question, Ross. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, yeah.
Mount Rushmore of pastors. It can be local or famous.
Yeah. Does present company automatically get excluded?
No, if I'm not on there, I'm not on there. I
Or
get
included?
it. I get it. I'd like to be included in the discussion. It's an honor just to be nominated.
I'd have to think about that one. I got to give the political down the middle answer before I could
Why is that?
give 4. I mean,
Political down the middle. None of these pastors are going to be listening but me.
well, and maybe, I don't know. Maybe Max Lucado. Maybe he'll be on here.
Maybe Joel's listening. Who
Yeah,
knows?
could be.
We do have listeners now in about 5 or 6 different countries, which is cool.
Yeah.
And so we added Russia to our list.
All right.
So somewhere I'd like to think Vladimir Putin is sitting in his office listening to Hey, Are You Still There?
Could be.
Just laughing, and maybe we're touching his heart a little bit. Maybe we're turning his heart a little bit. Maybe Hey, Are You Still There will lead to world peace.
That would be, that'd be pretty amazing.
I mean, if Dennis Rodman can lead to peace in North Korea, surely I can lead to peace in Russia.
Yeah. Peace in Russia and turmoil in the U.S. arguing over Christmas cards.
Gosh, I'm telling you what, we, it's clear that when it comes to Hey, Are You Still There? Beth is the straw that stirs the drink. Like, she's the thing. And, I was at an event. We're having a big event on Saturday, which is the day this will come out, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we're expecting around 10 or 12,000 people to be there. And one of the girls that works with me on it, she's 25. And she mentioned, yesterday when we were working together, setting up and stuff, that she had been listening to the podcast. And I was like, oh man, like, and I asked her, I was like, well, what do you think? Be honest. And she said, well, to tell you the truth, I'm just there for Beth. And I was like, I get it, And she was like, I find Beth fascinating. She's fun. I like to listen to her. And then she didn't say anything about me. There was nothing positive about me.
No.
The other night, you and I went to a Christmas party together.
We did.
And the party was thrown by the young woman who sent me the top 10 list of Christmas cards, why she does Christmas cards. And when we got to her house, the first thing she wanted to do was show me her wall of Christmas cards and point them out. And I took a picture of that. I put it up on our Facebook page. So if you want to go see her Christmas cards, go right ahead. I want to make it clear. I am not anti-Christmas cards. I'm anti me sending Christmas cards. I just don't, I think it's archaic. I don't think it matters. I think it used to matter back in the day, but now I think with social media and the world is so connected, I just don't think it
Yeah, I haven't sent one in years and years. I'm afraid I'd get writer's cramp if I had to write more than my name.
Yeah, which, I mean, God bless people that send them. And we've been getting some with some very sarcastic and snide remarks in them. We've gotten some with, nice comments to Beth and not so nice comments to me. And so I don't know why I took the brunt of it, but I did. But there was, one gentleman that called and left a long voicemail this week, that still believes Beth and I are both anti-Christmas and we're both a couple of Grinches. So, if I can pull Beth down to my level, I'm good with that.
That's as good as her pulling you up to her level.
That's right.
Either one works.
Yes. Yeah. And and I had a couple people say that they thought that we could be the next Jim and Tammy Baker. Do you remember them? Tammy Faye, or was that before your time?
I know the name. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't think that at all. I don't. They were like a televangelist or something. Corrupt at that. I told Beth, I like to think of us as like Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
I was never a super Kelly fan, so I like we'll go old school with Regis and Kathy Lee, where we just talk and, I get to make fun of her and she makes fun of me. And nobody really leaves angry most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to be. If you can stir everybody else up, but you not get angry. That's ideal.
That's how I am. See, I'm not angry. I wasn't angry about the Christmas card people, but boy, they got angry at me.
Oh, yeah.
What's your holiday plans? What you got going on this Christmas?
It's pretty small. Just small family gathering. Nothing.
Now, how many wives do you have to buy for?
Right now, 0.
All right.
And I think it'll stay that way.
Any kids to buy for?
Same number, 0.
Man.
So it's pretty relaxing. So that's less holiday stress for me in that regard.
Yeah. I was thinking back, Beth and I got engaged at Christmas. And maybe that's a story I'll let her share. But we got engaged Christmas of 96. So every year since 96, I've had somebody to buy for, a significant other. Whether it was her and then eventually her and our first son, then her and our son, daughter, then her and our son, daughter, son. I can't imagine having a Christmas where I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, I can describe it to you. It's pretty much just not having to worry about buying gifts.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, but you've given some good gifts. You're one of my friends that I think you are a great gift giver. And you've given me some pretty cool gifts in the past.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I'm kind of running low on ideas, but yeah, as long as I've done good in the past, I can rest on that for a while.
That's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about our buddy? And he's our mutual friend too, that sent out an email saying he wasn't going to give Christmas gifts anymore.
That's fine. Beth
thought that was a bold move. I admired it.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it was unique, but also it is pretty admirable. So yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think there's something there, I don't know.
Yeah, I think if gifts were phased out around the holidays, everybody'd be less stressed anyway. So yeah, that'd be fine with me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe, I should talk to Beth. Maybe we should have a cutoff with our kids, and be like, all right, once you reach a certain age, no more gifts.
So you're still going to give the ones gifts that haven't reached that age yet?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe 14. Once you reach 14, no more gifts.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
That would cut out all 3 kids.
Yeah, you still got 4 animals to give gifts to.
Oh, I'm not that crazy.
Kids.
I love my cats more than my dogs. So if anybody was going to get a gift, it'd be a cat. One of my cats. Yeah. But I'm not one of those people that buy gifts for their pets for Christmas. Mm-hmm. I do know people like that. They're probably sociopaths, but
I don't know. If you love your pets and you...
What's that pet going to know? The pet don't even know what day of the year it is. They're wondering why there's a tree in their house.
Yeah, they probably are wondering that. That's a little strange, but I don't know. Just give your pets whatever they want year round. And
did your cats ever do anything with your trees?
We had a cat that got up in the tree, and it was a good enough picture. It made it on the news.
Damn!
So, yeah, she was a good cat, and it was a good picture in the tree.
Wow. You could have had the next grumpy cat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she definitely wasn't a grumpy cat. She was a good one, but yeah, just never really...
A cat face made for the big screen, though.
Yeah, never really made it big on social media, though.
Yeah. Well, our cats don't care about the tree. They neither one of them mess with the trees. We have 2 in our house. But they love the tree skirts.
Oh, yeah.
They will wrestle those tree skirts and pull them around the house. I mean, it's nuts. That is all we do. I mean, I don't know. Can you look over there now? Is our tree skirt on it?
I didn't know you had one.
Oh, there you go. So I don't know what it is, but maybe if we put a few gifts on, we wouldn't be able to pull it around. But yeah, that's how behind we are right now. We've got some of the gifts, but we hadn't wrapped a single gift. So we have 2 trees with near 1 gift under them.
Oh, yeah, if you got 2 trees, you got to fill them up quick.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get a wife that's traveling all over. We ain't got money for gifts. Mm. She's going to Germany, going to Disney World, leaving me and the boys here to fend for ourselves.
Yeah, you should have just left out the trees.
You're darn right. I told Beth when she got home that they may be undecorated and put back. That would be funny.
That would be.
That would make a good podcast.
Well, if you want to undecorate them, I'll help with that. I enjoy putting things back to normal.
So do I. Man, so do I. Well, Ross, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good chat. And for those of you who are still listening, Beth will be back next week, and her and I are actually going to do a year in review. So we're going to look at as we keep saying, the intersection or the 4 pillars of this podcast, marriage, kids, careers, and ministry. And we're going to look back at 2024 and each of us pick a highlight from those 4 areas. And so she'll have her highlight for marriage. I'll have mine, and then we'll both have one for, kids and whatever. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. So we'll see how many of her and I line up at all, because we're not going to discuss it ahead of time. So we're just going to see. It's kind of like the Newlywed Game where you have to match. If we go 4 for 4, I think we should win a car or something.
Yeah.
How about an orange Lotus? Can we get one of those, Ross, if we get 4 for 4?
I don't know where you'd find one that the owner was willing to put that up. But
all right.
I don't know. Maybe a beige Lexus from the year that you got engaged.
Was it a 96?
It was.
Nice. Man, I should have just got it from you.
Yeah, you could have.
I could have been Josh's first car.
I don't think it would have made it that long.
Well. Well, thanks for being on today. This was fun.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
So everyone else, thanks a lot for listening. As always, you can check us out online on our website, heyareyoustillthere.com. Facebook page is there. Just love to have you. We're on all the listening streams now, so you should be able to find us anywhere and everywhere. We love getting comments from people, so drop us a comment, send us an email. We just love hearing from folks, and it's been fun to kind of talk to people out and about that we see, that we know, that we find out are listening to the show that we had no idea was. So it's neat. So thanks again, Ross. Beth, whenever you hear this, we miss you, and we'll see you back hopefully before Christmas. If not, then we'll see you next year.